The Inn of the Sixth Happiness is a 1958 deluxe-color 20th-century Fox CinemaScope film based on the true story of Gladys Aylward, a tenacious British maid who became a missionary in China during the tumultuous years leading up to World War II. Directed by Mark Robson, who received an Academy Award for Best Director nomination. The film stars Ingrid Bergman as Aylward and Kurt Jurgens as her love interest, Colonel Lin Nan, a Chinese officer with a Dutch father. Robert Denart, who played the mandarin of the town in which Aylward lived, died before the film was released. The musical score was composed and conducted by Malcolm Arnold. The cinematography was by Freddie Young. The film was shot in Snowdonia, North Wales. Most of the children in the film were Chinese children from Liverpool, home to one of the oldest Chinese communities in Europe. Plot. The story begins with Aylward, Ingrid Bergman, being rejected as a potential missionary to China because of her lack of education. Dr. Robinson, Moultrie Kelsall, the senior missionary, feels sorry for her and secures her a position in the home of a veteran explorer with contacts in China. Over the next few months, Aylward saves her money to purchase a ticket on the Trans-Siberian Railway, choosing the more dangerous overland route to the east because it is less expensive. Once in China, she settles in the town of Yangcheng, where she secures a post as assistant to a veteran missionary, Jeannie Lawson. Athene Seeler. Lawson has set up an inn for traveling merchants, where they can get a hot meal and hear stories from the Bible. The film follows Aylward's acculturation, culminating in her taking over the inn when Lawson dies in an accident. The local mandarin, Robert Denart, appoints Aylward, a stubborn but endearing woman, as his foot inspector to ensure that the ancient practice of foot binding is eradicated in the region he governs. She succeeds in this, and manages to put down a prison revolt as well, winning her the esteem of the local population and of the mandarin. Meanwhile, however, China is being invaded by Japan, and Aylward is encouraged by Kurt Jurgens, to leave. She refuses, and as the town of Yangcheng comes under attack, she finds that she has 50 orphans in her care. As the population prepares to evacuate the town, the Mandarin announces that he is converting to Christianity to honor Aylward and her work. She is rather taken aback by this, as she would have preferred him to convert through religious conviction. She is now left alone with the children, aided by Lee Burke-Wook, the former leader of the prison revolt she helped to resolve. Lin tells her that the only hope for safety is to take the children to the next province, where trucks will evacuate them to a safer area. But they must get there within 3 weeks, or the trucks will leave without them. Just as they are preparing to leave, another 50 orphans appear from a neighboring town. So Aylward and Lee have no choice but to lead 100 children on a trek across the countryside. Although it should only have taken them a week, the roads are infested with Japanese patrols, and the group has to cut across the mountains. After a long, difficult journey, they all arrive safely, except for Lee, who died to save them from a Japanese patrol. On the day the trucks are to leave, Aylward is greeted by Dr. Robinson, and she reminds him of how he rejected her as a missionary years before. The film culminates with the column of children, led by Aylward, marching into the town, singing the song, "This Old Man," to keep up their spirits. Cast. Production. For the production of The Inn of the Sixth Happiness, 20th Century Fox rented space at MGM British Studios Borehamwood, where the Chinese villages were built on the Backlet, with location scenes filmed in Nantmoor, near Bethgelert in North Wales. A gold-painted statue of Buddha that was used on a set for the film is now located in the Italianate village of Portmeirion, North Wales. Sean Connery was considered for the role of Colonel Lin. The screen test from this can be seen on the DVD. Since the film's release, the filmmakers have been criticized for casting Ingrid Bergman, a tall woman with a Swedish accent, as Gladys Aylward, who was in fact short and had a Cockney accent. Likewise, the two male leads, British actor Robert Donat and Austrian actor Kurt Jürgens, were not even Chinese, though Jürgens' character is said to be half Dutch. Singer Bill Elliott sang the hit song The Inn of the Sixth Happiness with the Cyril Stapleton Orchestra. Historical accuracy. The film was based on the novel The Small Woman, 1957, by Alan Burgess. The real Gladys Aylward, 1902–1970, was born in London. She was a former domestic in the household of Sir Francis Young, husband-turned-missionary in China, and best known for her work with children. Aylward became a Chinese citizen in 1936. 4 years later, despite being in ill health herself, she led more than 100 children over the mountains to safety at the height of the Second Sino-Japanese War. In 1958, the year of the film's release, she founded a children's home in Taiwan, which she continued to run until her death. Known in China as Iweh Day, Chinese, literally, virtuous one, she continues to be regarded as a national hero. Gladys Aylward was deeply upset by the inaccuracy of the movie, although she found herself a figure of international interest thanks to the popularity of the movie in television and media interviews. Aylward was mortified by her depiction in the film and the many liberties it took. The tall, Swedish Ingrid Bergman was inconsistent with Aylward's small stature, dark hair and Cockney accent. The struggles of Aylward and her family to effect her initial trip to China were skipped over in favor of the plot device of her employer condescending to write to his old friend Jeannie Lawson, and Aylward's dangerous, complicated travels across Russia and China were reduced to a few rude soldiers, after which Hollywood's train delivered her neatly to Sionzen. Quote, "The names of many characters and places were changed, even when the names had significant meanings, such as those of Aylward's adopted children and of her inn, named for the Chinese belief in the number 8 as an auspicious number. Colonel Lin Nan was portrayed as half European, a change which Aylward found insulting to his Chinese lineage. She also felt her reputation damaged by the Hollywood-embellished love scenes in the film. Not only had she never kissed any man, but also the film's ending portrayed her character abandoning the orphans in order to join the colonel elsewhere, even though in reality she did not retire from working with orphans until she was 60 years old. In real life, Aylward and Lin Nan were not reunited. He was lost in the war and she never knew what happened to him. Reception. The film was the second most popular movie at the British box office in 1959. The film is recognized by American Film Institute in these lists. 2003. AFI's 100 Years. 100 Heroes and Villains. Gladys Aylward, nominated hero. 2005. AFI's 100 Years of Film Scores, nominated. 2006. AFI's 100 Years. 100 Cheers, nominated. The Inn of the Sixth Happiness at the Internet Movie Database. The Inn of the Sixth Happiness at All Movie. The Inn of the Sixth Happiness at the TCM Movie Database. The Inn of the Sixth Happiness at the American Film Institute Catalog.